What is going on, everybody? It is the Monday edition of the PrizePicks Prop Show here at FTNFantasy.com. My name is Zach Graham, aka Kawaisenberg DFS, ready to dive into tonight's two-game slate of NBA playoff action. Hope everybody had a good weekend. Obviously, a little bit of a quiet one from the hoop side of things, just a single game on Saturday and Sunday. But back to the two-gamer here tonight. We've got game 2 of Wolves and Nuggets, and then we get Knicks and Pacers started out east. So definitely excited for a new series to begin. Really pumped to see some of the adjustments from both sides there in Nuggets and Wolves. But of course, before we get to the tool, just want to remind you all, if you have not signed up yet at PrizePicks, you can do so by using the promo code FTN, and that will get you a 100% deposit match bonus at sign up to $100. And you can get that same bonus over at Underdog Fantasy. So if you haven't signed up yet with Underdog, you can scan the QR code that's on the screen right now, or just head over to Underdog Fantasy, sign up using that same promo code. You get that same 100% deposit match bonus up to $100. And I did just get a notification from UD. NBA discounts on the board, so you can pick your favorite today between Jokic, Brunson, Ant Edwards, or Pascal Siakam. So again, promo code FTN to sign up at Underdog. And you can use that same promo code and download the Sleeper app. And if you sign up using promo code FTN, that'll get you a deposit match bonus up to $500 over at Sleeper. So take advantage of all these offers that these sites are putting out there. Get the free money, build up that bankroll, then head over to FTN Fantasy, where we've got the PrizePicks Pick'em tool, and you can get VIP plus access here. That subscription, $299.99 for the year. So slightly less than $25 a month for access to everything we have here at FTN. All of our models, advanced statistics, projections, access to all 3 of our Discord servers, less than $25 a month with that VIP plus subscription. Let's jump into the tool here. And again, I'll remind you all as we go, don't hesitate to jump into that YouTube chat if you are here live with me. Ask some questions. If you're watching on the replay, you can find me on Twitter at Kawaisenberg DFS, or most of the time, easiest way to get to me in that FTN Fantasy Discord Pick'em Games channel, where myself, Alex Blickel, Chris Meany, Kenneth Lee, a number of other experts giving out picks throughout the day. I want to start here tonight. Let's get to the tool. Let's start with game 2 of Wolves Nuggets, and Minnesota announcing early on with that game 1 road victory that they're very much a contender here in the West. And now I picked the Nuggets, as did I think the majority of folks, and I'm not super nervous yet for Denver, but this is probably as close, without being an elimination game, as close as Denver has been in a long time to a must-win game. So again, very excited for this one here tonight. One guy that did not perform well offensively for Minnesota in that victory was Jaden McDaniels. And of course, he's never been, elite scoring threat, but 0 for 7, by far his worst performance from the field in the 11-game sample of playoff games we have. Of course, Jaden taking himself out of last year's postseason by punching that wall, right, or the play-in, what have you. 39 minutes in game 1, and that's what's important to me here, as McDaniels, even with that bagel he put up in the points column in game 1, averaging 11.4 points per game through his first 5 playoff appearances this season. And through 11 playoff games that I mentioned in his young career, Jaden's averaging 13 points per game per 36 minutes, right? So his points prop for game 2 set at 8.5 right now on PrizePicks. And my thoughts on taking a more than selection here tonight is backed up strongly by the FTN data model. You can see in the tool here, FTN model has them right around 12 points here tonight. So I'll lock that in as our first pick. But when we've got a strong lean like that in the tool, in the model, we want to go look at the demon offerings on PrizePicks. So if you go over to the points board here, sure enough, we've got a Jaden McDaniels demon points line at 10.5. So again, FTN model has him right around 12. So I'm going to play the demon in some entries today. And ultimately, it's going to be up to you if your risk tolerance. Do you want to add that extra 2 points on there to a guy who, again, scoring, not the first thing you talk about when you think of Jaden McDaniels. And I think today for me, with this next pick, Mike Conley. Mike Conley is a guy that all the way back on Friday, we talked about in the Pick'em Games channel. I mentioned on VSiN on Friday that I liked the Conley more than on his points. His points were set at 11.5 at the time. And man, did he have a dud of a first half. I believe no points in the first half of game one, but then he ends up coming through with a huge third quarter, finishes with 14 points on the night. And his points prop is back down to 11 flat here this morning on PrizePicks. And I believe that's where it closed prior to game one as well. And I'm going right back to it. I'm undeterred by the first half lull that we saw because, like we mentioned late last week, coming into this series, Mike Conley had exceeded 11 points in 7 straight regular season games against the Nuggets, along with 3 of the 5 games in last year's first round series between the two. So making it 10 of 12 in all competitions. That's going back to February of 2022 for Conley. So I'm going to lock in Conley once again, more than 11 points here. And you can see FTN data model has him right around 13.5. So for me with these two guys, if you think that maybe, and again, the PrizePicks Pick'em tool giving us a negative 0.7 correlation bonus here for taking the more than selection on both of these guys. So that would certainly only go up if you put that Jaden McDaniels demon into your entry. So if you want to go to that Jaden McDaniels demon, maybe we're looking to fill in for that Conley prop. Again, it's just the tool doesn't like the correlation there. So, and of course, either way, we can't just take 2 teammates and call it a day. So let's pivot elsewhere here. And you know that I'm not leaving a live stream without at least taking a peek at the fantasy score offerings right on PrizePicks. So let's shift now to game one in New York, Pacers and Knicks. And one guy that catches my eye first here this morning is Dante DiVincenzo. And of course, in that first round series against Philadelphia, extremely volatile in terms of his minutes. Even a couple of those games, I want to say it was like game 3 or 4, where he comes out, hits a couple shots, and still Miles McBride plays the majority of the minutes in that second half. But we saw the huge minutes from him to close that series, to begin that series. And I think the Pacers, there's zero doubt that the Pacers are a much different matchup than the Sixers, right? So I think Dante DiVincenzo will be able to stay on the court on a much more consistent basis throughout this second round series against Indy. So his PrizePicks fantasy score prop set at 27.5 here tonight for Dante DiVincenzo. And I like the more than selection there. And again, when my noggin matches up with the data model here at FTN, I like to see that model has a little over 31 PrizePicks fantasy score here tonight. So again, like to see that. Still don't have the fantasy score props integrated here into the PrizePicks prop tool, but that's coming soon. And of course, we've got the projections here at FTN Fantasy. So I'm going to lock in Dante DiVincenzo more than 27.5 PrizePicks fantasy score. And then round this out with a fourth pick. And I want to close with his teammate in Josh Hart. And I think Josh Hart still should be expected to play massive minutes here tonight. I don't think that is going to change, but I think we can get some good correlation here. Again, I won't have the confirmation bias of seeing the tool maybe spit out a positive number in that correlation bonus row there. But I think this makes some sense to me. And if it makes sense to you, let's roll this pair together. Josh Hart's fantasy score is set at 40.5 this morning on PrizePicks. And again, I think pairing a less than on Hart with the more than on Dante DiVincenzo in terms of their fantasy score numbers right now could be really advantageous by the end of the night, barring a change in defensive scheme here from the Pacers. And I typically don't think those are going to come right away in a series. So I think we might see the Pacers. Maybe you're going to leave Josh Hart more open if you're struggling to stop the rest of this Knicks team. So I think maybe that's after game one, where maybe we go back to maybe some more thans on Josh Hart. We'll deal with that when we get there. Here in game one, I'm not expecting the same type of open shots from Hart, like we saw in Philly's defensive scheme. The Pacers themselves in the bottom half of the league in terms of 3-point attempts allowed throughout the regular season. So that's another little cookie on the side of a Josh Hart under here. Again, I expect his fantasy floor just to be a little bit lower this series. FTN model also thinking similarly here, because we've got Josh Hart projected for around 37.5 PrizePicks fantasy score here today. So again, 40.5 feels a little bit hot to me here tonight. So I'm going to lock in that less than selection on Josh Hart as well. And of course, that just gives us 4 picks. There's a couple others that I'm eyeing here, which I could list off. I don't have them in any entries yet. And again, if you've got any questions here, tuned in live, hit that YouTube comment section or live chat rather, fire a question in that I can get to before we sign off here. There's a number of other Minnesota options, and no, they did not take this down yet. I'm hesitant. I'm considering a less than selection on Anthony Edwards and his points prop. And if we put that into the tool right here, again, you can see the FTN data model has him a hair over 25.5 points here tonight. Again, that line is set at 29.5. So I think I'm going to go ahead and take this here because we're doing this live. We see in the tool, we have Jaden McDaniels and Mike Conley more than selections on their points prop. That was a negative 0.7 correlation bonus. Adding in the Anthony Edwards less than, plus 1.7 now on that correlation bonus just for those 3 picks alone. So that is going to be our 5th pick here on Monday's stream. Those 3 Wolves props, again, Jaden McDaniels more than 8.5 points, Mike Conley more than 11 points, Anthony Edwards less than 29.5 points. And we'll pair those 3 with Dante DiVincenzo, more than 27.5 fantasy score. Josh Hart, less than 40.5 fantasy score. And again, now that we've got, when you put that Anthony Edwards line in there with the other 2 Wolves points props, we have enough correlation bonus there where maybe this is how I get my Jaden McDaniels demon in there. And we get that, if we find a 6th pick, right, then we potentially get that 38x payout. The boosted payout with the McDaniels demon in there. So again, we will discuss that more at length. A couple other picks for myself, and of course there will be MLB, NHL picks coming in the chat throughout the afternoon. So again, sign up here at FTN Fantasy if you have not already. Our VIP Plus subscription, less than $25 per month for the full year. You get access to everything under the sun here at FTN Fantasy, all of our advanced statistics, our projection models, the fantasy, the bets, the daily side, access to all of our Discord channels, less than $25 a month. Come sign up with us here at FTN Fantasy. And I appreciate all of you tuning in, sticking with me here on the Monday edition of the PrizePicks Prop Show, whether you caught it live or on the replay later today. And I will see the rest of you in that Pick'em Games channel leading up to lock of tonight's slate. I'll see you guys back here on Wednesday. Alex will be in on the PrizePicks Prop Show on Tuesday. And of course, good luck tonight, everybody.